She was never looking for Elena. We finally found her. I stared at the words on the back of the photograph. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. The room felt colder than before. My grandfather looked terrified. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Something was terribly wrong. And deep down, I think all of us knew it. The photograph felt heavier in my hands. I looked at the recent picture of myself. Then I looked at my grandfather. His face had gone pale. For several seconds, he simply stared at me. Then he whispered, "Oh no." My stomach tightened. "What?" He didn't answer. Instead, he sat down slowly, as if all the strength had left his body. My grandmother looked ready to cry. The fear in their eyes scared me more than the photograph, because they knew something. Something they had hidden for years. Something they never wanted me to discover. Before I continue, my name is Olivia. I grew up in Canada. After 13 years away, I returned to the Philippines to visit my grandparents. What started as a simple family trip changed my life forever. It began at a funeral. That's where I first noticed the woman. Soon she appeared in photographs. Then I heard footsteps at night. Then strangers started forgetting things. The woman followed me back to Canada. And now I was standing inside my grandparents' house, holding a photograph that shouldn't exist, a photograph connecting me to a mystery older than I was. "Tell me the truth." My voice sounded stronger than I felt. "Who is Elena?" My grandfather closed his eyes. For a moment I thought he wouldn't answer. Then he finally spoke. "Elena was my daughter." The room became silent. I stared at him. "My daughter," he repeated. "Your aunt." I couldn't believe it. I had never heard her name before. Not once. No photos. No stories. Nothing. It was as if she had never existed. And suddenly, that felt important. Why didn't anyone tell me about her? My grandfather looked away. Then he whispered, "Because people forgot." A chill ran through my body. The same way they're forgetting you. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. According to my grandfather, Elena was 16 when it started. She began talking about a strange woman, a woman nobody else could see. At first, everyone thought she was imagining things. Then the photographs began changing. Just like mine. The woman appeared everywhere, always watching, always waiting. Weeks later, people started forgetting Elena. Friends forgot her birthday. Teachers forgot she attended class. Neighbors forgot her name. Then family members started forgetting her too. The closer the woman got, the faster Elena disappeared from people's memories. I suddenly remembered my cousins, the confused look on their faces, the way they asked, "Who are you?" At the time I thought it was strange. Now I understood. The same thing was happening to me. The process had already begun. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Elena, about the photographs, about the woman. Around midnight I heard a noise upstairs, a soft creak. Then another. Then another. Footsteps. Slow footsteps, moving through the hallway. I grabbed a flashlight. The rest of the house was silent. Everyone else was asleep. At least, I hoped they were. The footsteps continued. One step, then another, then another. I followed the sound upstairs. My heart hammered inside my chest. The footsteps led me to a room I had never entered before. The door was slightly open. Dust covered the floor. The air smelled old, forgotten, abandoned. Then I noticed the name written on the door. Elena. My blood ran cold. Slowly, I pushed the door open. Inside, everything looked untouched, as if nobody had entered for decades. Books, photographs, old clothes, and on a desk near the window, a small leather diary, waiting for me, as if it knew I would come. My hands trembled as I picked up the diary. Dust covered the leather cover. It looked older than I expected. For a moment I hesitated. Then I opened it. The first page contained only a name. Alina, written in neat handwriting. Below it was a date, June 14th, 1974. The first few entries seemed normal. School, friends, family. Nothing unusual. Then I reached an entry dated 3 months later. Everything changed. I saw her again today. That was the first sentence. My stomach tightened. I continued reading. She was standing outside my classroom. I looked away for a second. When I looked back, she was gone. I asked my friends if they saw her. They didn't. They never do. A chill ran through my body. The words sounded familiar. Too familiar. Every page became darker. Every entry became stranger. Alina kept seeing the same woman. At school, at church, at family gatherings. Sometimes in mirrors. Sometimes in photographs. Always watching. Never speaking. Exactly like my story. Then I found an entry that made my blood freeze. Mom forgot my birthday today. I kept reading. She has never forgotten before. Something is wrong. People are starting to forget things about me. I stopped breathing. The same thing was happening to me. I turned another page. My teacher called me by the wrong name. My friends forgot where I live. My cousin stared at me for 10 seconds before asking who I was. The diary nearly slipped from my hands. It was identical. Every detail matched my experience. Then I reached the final pages. The handwriting became messy, uneven, desperate. She's getting closer. I see her every day now. Sometimes she's standing beside my bed. Sometimes she's standing behind me. The words grew shakier, as if Elena had been terrified while writing them. Then I found the last complete entry. I will never forget it. If you're reading this, then she chose you. My heart nearly stopped. The room suddenly felt colder. I continued reading. I thought she wanted me. I was wrong. She doesn't choose people. She chooses blood. She moves through families. Generation after generation. Always searching. Always waiting. I swallowed hard. A terrible feeling settled in my chest. The next sentence changed everything. I was never the target. I froze. The exact words from the photograph came back to me. You're not the one. Suddenly, everything started making sense. And somehow, that scared me even more. I flipped to the final page. Most of it was blank, except for one sentence. Written in large letters. She is trying to replace herself. My heart pounded. Replace herself? What did that mean? Before I could think further, I heard footsteps behind me. I spun around. Nobody was there. The room was empty, yet I knew I wasn't alone. Every instinct told me someone was watching. Then the mirror beside Elena's bed caught my attention. Something moved inside it. At first, I thought it was my reflection. Then I realized it wasn't moving when I moved. The figure stood completely still. A woman. Tall. Thin. Pale. The woman. Standing inside the mirror. Watching me. For the first time, she smiled. Not the unsettling smile from before. A sad smile. Almost human. Almost sympathetic. Then her lips began moving. No sound came out. But somehow, I understood her words. You finally know. The mirror cracked. A loud sound exploded through the room. I jumped backward. The glass shattered. When I looked again, the woman was gone. But one thing remained. Her reflection, standing behind me. I slowly turned around. Nobody was there. Yet the reflection remained. The woman stood behind me inside the broken mirror, watching, waiting. Then she raised her hand and pointed directly at me. The room suddenly felt freezing cold. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Then I heard her voice, not from the mirror, not from behind me, inside my head, soft, calm, almost sad. You were never supposed to find this room. A chill ran through my body. I forced myself to speak. Who are you? For several seconds she said nothing. Then she answered. I was the first. The words echoed in my mind. The first what? Her expression changed. For the first time, she looked tired. Very tired, like someone carrying a burden for centuries. Then she whispered, the first replacement. Suddenly memories flashed through my mind. Faces, photographs, family gatherings, people standing behind other people, watching, waiting, generation after generation. The same curse, the same cycle, always searching for someone new, someone to take their place. The woman wasn't hunting people. She wasn't killing them. She was trapped, for decades, maybe longer. Every generation the curse searched for another person. A replacement, someone from the same bloodline, someone connected to the family, someone like me. No. I shook my head. There has to be another way. The woman looked at me sadly, the kind of sadness that comes from hearing the same answer 1,000 times. I said the same thing. My heart sank. Suddenly, I understood what happened to Elena. Elena wasn't taken. She chose to escape. She ran, and the curse continued searching, for years, for decades, until it found me. The moment I realized that, the room began shaking. The diary fell from my hands. The photographs scattered across the floor. Then I heard my grandfather calling my name. Olivia. His voice sounded distant, like it was coming from far away. I ran downstairs. My grandfather was standing in the living room, looking confused. Very confused. He stared at me, then asked, "Who are you?" My heart broke. The forgetting had reached him. The one person who remembered everything. The one person fighting to remember me. Now even he was losing. I wanted to cry. Instead, I forced a smile. It's me, Grandpa. But I could already see it. He didn't know who I was. The next morning, it became worse. Old family photos changed. My face disappeared. Family records changed. My name vanished. Even my phone felt wrong. Friends from Canada stopped replying. One finally answered. Sorry. Do I know you? Day by day, pieces of my life disappeared. My school records, my childhood photos, birthday pictures, messages, everything. It was as if reality was rewriting itself, erasing me, one memory at a time. The woman had been right. The process couldn't be stopped. A week later, I returned to Elena's room. The woman was waiting, standing beside the window. For the first time, I wasn't afraid. I was tired. The same way she looked tired. The same way Elena must have felt. I finally asked, "What happens if I say yes?" The woman looked at me, then toward the family photos. They live. The answer was simple, painfully simple. If I refuse, her eyes filled with sadness. The cycle continues. For a long time, neither of us spoke. I already knew my decision. That night, I sat beside my grandfather. He smiled politely, like I was a stranger visiting his house. He no longer remembered my name. He no longer remembered my face. But somehow, he still felt familiar, as if part of him knew. The next morning, I walked into Elena's room one final time. The woman was waiting. I took a deep breath, then I reached for her hand. The moment our fingers touched, every light in the room exploded, and everything became white. My name is Olivia. At least, I think it is. I used to know for sure. I used to remember my family, my home, my friends. But some of it feels distant now, like a dream fading after you wake up. There was something important I wanted to tell you, something about a woman, something about a photograph, something about… I can't remember. It's getting harder now, harder every day. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. 6 months later, my family gathered for another reunion. Everyone laughed. Everyone smiled. Everyone looked happy. The curse was gone. The forgetting had stopped. And for the first time in decades, nobody saw the woman anymore. A photograph was taken that afternoon, a normal family picture. Nothing unusual. At least that's what everyone thought. Nobody noticed the young woman standing behind the trees, watching quietly, smiling softly, hidden in the background. And even if they had noticed her, they wouldn't have known her name, because nobody remembered Olivia anymore. Not her family, not her friends, not even her grandfather. Only the photograph remembered. And somewhere beyond the frame, so did she. The end.